Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you have subscribed to the channel then thank you very much. I would like to take this opportunity to thank every single one of you for doing so, and welcome to the family. And we are excited to bring you more videos in the future. Now, we've spoken about cruise ships and cruising in general on this channel in a few videos previously. However, we've really never touched on the subject of ocean liners, and I'm sure most of you, when I mention the word ocean liner, will automatically think of the RMS Titanic, the most famous ocean liner ever in the history of ocean liners. What if I told you that there was one, yes, only one ocean liner left today that still does the exact same journey that the Titanic did all those years ago? Yes, I am obviously talking about Cunard's Queen Mary 2, the last ocean liner that still exists to this day, and we are going to dive in to that ship in this video and what it really means to be an ocean liner instead of a cruise ship. So we really hope, as always, that you will enjoy this video, and once again, if you've not subscribed to our channel, it really will help us enormously, and we would love to have you here on a regular basis. But for now, sit back, relax, and as always, enjoy this video. For centuries, the ocean was the only highway between continents. Across the vast Atlantic, ships carried dreams, fortunes, empires, and millions of people seeking a new life. But today, only one vessel still makes the crossing as it was meant to be made. She's not a cruise ship, she's an ocean liner, and she is the Queen Mary 2. Most people think all large passenger ships are cruise ships, but they're not. Cruise ships are designed for leisure, floating resorts that sail in warm waters, island to island. An ocean liner is something entirely different. Ocean liners are built for one purpose: to cross oceans on schedule in all weather. Through winter storms, through 10-meter waves, through the unforgiving North Atlantic. And today, only one ship in the world is still purpose-built for exactly that role. It's the Queen Mary 2. Let's skip back to the golden age of transatlantic travel. The British company Cunard Line dominated the Atlantic for more than a century. Ships like the RMS Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth II were vessels, symbols of prestige, engineering, and national pride. But the late 20th century, aeroplanes had taken over. Ocean liners, well, they just disappeared. Except Cunard. They weren't ready to let the tradition die. In the late 1990s, Cunard made a bold decision. They will build the largest ocean liner ever constructed. Construction began in 2002 in Saint-Nazaire, France. The numbers were staggering. It was 345 meters long, 150,000 gross tons, 14 passenger decks, over 2,500 guests, and more than 1,200 crew members. But the most important detail wasn't her size, it was her strength. Unlike cruise ships, the Queen Mary 2 has a deeper hull, a reinforced bow, a higher freeboard, and a hull designed specifically for North Atlantic storms. She is built to withstand seas that would slow or divert most other cruise vessels. On January 8, 2004, Queen Mary 2 was christened by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Four days later, she departed Southampton on her maiden voyage to New York. Thousands gathered along the shores as she entered New York's harbour for the very first time, and it felt like history had returned. But what's life like on board? Inside the Queen Mary 2 blends tradition and modern luxury. The grand lobby rises through multiple decks, and the Queen's Room, the largest ballroom at sea, hosts elegant afternoon teas. She even features the only planetarium at sea, but perhaps her most iconic space is the promenade deck. Here, passengers walk in the footsteps of generations past and really get a taste of that breezy Atlantic wind, watching nothing but the horizon. Unlike cruise ships that wander tropical routes, the Queen Mary 2 still sails regularly between Southampton and New York, a journey of nearly 3,200 nautical miles, 5 to 7 days across open oceans. In winter, waves can tower over her bow, yet she presses forward because that is what she was exactly designed to do. Passengers often describe something different about Queen Mary 2. Not just luxury, not just scale, but purpose. You feel the engines working beneath your feet. You sense the weight of the ocean around you, and she's not floating for entertainment, she's travelling with intent, and that changes everything. You really can compare her to a modern day aircraft. She's just there to get you from A to B. But this raises the question, why are there not more ocean liners, and will there ever be another ocean liner? Well, modern economics favour cruise ships nowadays, and aeroplanes dominate long distance travel. But Queen Mary 2 continues to prove something extraordinary, that there is still magic in crossing an ocean slowly, in disconnecting from land, in watching the horizon for days. She's more than a ship. She's the final chapter of a maritime era, and perhaps a reminder that some journeys should never disappear. If you book your journey on the Queen Mary 2, then you'll have to keep in mind that you're not going to expect a traditional cruise ship experience. The cruise ship obviously typically focuses on a more party vibe. They have water park zip lines and surf simulators for fun. There's more loud entertainment and casual dress codes, and the Queen Mary 2 has more formal evenings with black tie dinners. It's more of a classic ocean travel feel, and there's a more traditional British elegance. We can really compare it to the RMS Titanic. It really does feel like an liner from the golden age. The travel experience will also be completely different to what you most likely expect. She travels a lot faster than most cruise ships and has a service speed of 26 to 28 knots. She has a maximum speed about 30 knots, and she's obviously designed for that more fast crossing across the Atlantic. She has a long, sharp knife-like bow and cuts through waves instead of riding over them, and she reduces slamming in rough seas, whereas a cruise ship has a more blunt, wide bow and designed for stability in calm seas. So there are real extreme visual differences that you will most certainly notice. Due to these features, you will also experience a more calmer ride in general. She's built to move safely in heavy seas, she can handle the North Atlantic winter storms, and she feels more solid and controlled in rough weather. Another reason why we don't have any other ocean liners left today, and why we were unlikely to see ocean liners return, is because they are extremely expensive to build. In a world where we really focus on cutting down, ocean liners don't really seem like a wise investment for the future. They are so much heavier, they are structurally reinforced, they are faster, and they are built for severe weather, but it means that they need to use more steel to build them. There is a lot more fuel consumption for the speed, and there's a huge construction costs, a lot higher than of those of cruise ships. Modern cruise ships really do focus on a more fuel-efficient journey and are all-round more profitable for cruise companies. It really is nowadays more of the experience of sailing than getting from one destination to the next. And as I mentioned with air travel, there are a lot more efficient ways to do so in our world today. We can also touch on the fact that in the early 1900s, there was a much higher demand for travel across the Atlantic. Millions emigrated to America and Australia and didn't just simply visit for holiday reasons. Ships were, at that time, essential. Today, immigration is mostly by air, and business travelers need speed to get to their appointments quickly and efficiently. And vacations prioritize entertainment. there is no mass demand for a week-long ocean transport. Gone are the days where countries competed for the fastest Atlantic crossing. Now, speed competition no longer matters, and comfort and onboard experience are a lot more prioritized. The romance of ocean travel survives, but as a luxury niche, not as a transportation system. So the Queen Mary 2 also focus on a more niche and luxury market, which means demand is also lower. I, for one, really do appreciate the last remaining Oceanliner that is the Queen Mary 2, and I really do hope that I get to travel on her very soon. And I, for one, are upset that Oceanliners no longer exist because they represent a romantic era of travel. The elegance of formal dinners at sea, the thrill of crossing the Atlantic in a majestic ship, and the sense of adventure that comes with long ocean voyages. There's something timeless and grand about these floating places that modern cruise ships just can't fully capture. While at the same time I can understand why they disappeared, while I'll always admire the beauty and history of ocean liners, it makes sense that the world has moved on. What are your thoughts on the Queen Mary 2? Have you had the opportunity of sailing on her, and would you love to do so in the future? And what are your general thoughts on the Oceanliner? Do you also see it as an end of an era, or do you prefer the more modern feel to the cruise ships we see today? Let me know in the comments section. So all that's left to say is thank you very much for watching as always, and we will see you next time on the channel. Take care and goodbye for now.